The unlikely alliance, the galaxy was dying. For months, human fleets had been losing battle after battle to the Varkan Empire. A brutal alien force with ships bigger than cities and weapons that could burn planets. Space stations were reduced to ashes, colonies vanished. The once bright banners of humanity now floated in ruins. On the edge of the Orion sector, the last human battleship, MS Valiant, drifted through the wreckage of a destroyed fleet. Its engines were barely working, its crew exhausted and hopeless. Captain Elias Reed stood on the bridge, staring at the black emptiness ahead. His voice was heavy. "Signal Earth Command," he said. "Tell them, we are the last." Before the message could be sent, alarms screamed, multiple contacts. The sensor officer shouted, "Unknown ships closing fast." The crew braced for the end, but when the shapes emerged from the darkness, they were unlike anything Reed had seen before. Sleek and organic, as if grown rather than built. The ships glowed with lines of soft blue light. Their movements were alive, graceful, almost like swimming through space. A deep voice, alien and metallic, echoed through the Valiant's coms. "Do not fire, we come to talk." Every weapon on the Valiant aimed at the newcomers. "Identify yourselves," Reed demanded. The largest of the strange ships detached from the group and approached. Its hull opened like the petals of a flower, revealing a massive figure-part machine, part living being, standing 50 meters tall. It looked like a metal warrior with glowing eyes and moving armor plates. The voice came again. "We are your enemy is our enemy." The crew exchanged confused looks. No one had ever heard of the Cryon before, yet here they were, offering help in the middle of humanity's worst defeat. The Cryon leader introduced himself as Varrick's commander of the Mecha Legion. He explained that the Varkan Empire had been attacking not just humans but many other worlds, consuming resources and enslaving entire species. The Cryon had fought them for centuries, but even their powerful living Mecha technology could not win alone. Reed narrowed his eyes. "And now you want us to fight with you. Why? What's the price?" Varrick stepped forward, the hum of his armor filling the silence. "Because without you, we will lose. Without us, you will die." After a tense pause, Reed made a decision. "All right, we'll talk. But if this is a trap," Varrick's eyes glowed brighter, "then you will have the right to destroy us." Hours later, a shuttle from the Valiant docked with the Cryon flagship. Reed and a small team entered the alien ship and were stunned by what they saw. The walls pulsed like muscle fibers, lights flowing through them like veins. Alien pilots walked alongside towering mecha machines that seemed almost alive, their armor breathing softly, eyes tracking every movement. "This is impossible," whispered Lieutenant Sarah Kane. The Cryon mecha were not controlled like human machines. They bonded with their pilots, sharing thoughts, senses, and reflexes. It was as if pilot and machine became one mind, moving faster than any human reflex could match. Varrick offered them a chance to try. A smaller mecha, still towering over the humans, knelt down and opened its chest. Inside was a glowing pilot's chamber, large enough for one human. Reed hesitated, then stepped in. The moment the chamber closed, a rush of images and sensations flooded his mind. He could see in all directions at once. Feel the hum of the engines. Sense the pulse of the ship around him. "You are linked," Varrick's voice echoed in his head. "Together, we are stronger." The alliance was sealed faster than Reed expected. That same day, a Varkan raiding fleet appeared at the edge of the system. Human and Cryon forces launched together, first joint mission in history. Cryon mecha moved like lightning, dodging plasma fire and tearing enemy ships apart with energy blades. The Valiant's cannons roared, blasting apart Varkan fighters that tried to flank the mecha. Reed's linked mecha fought like it had always been his own body, ripping into a Varkan warship and throwing its wreckage into another. Within an hour, the Varkan fleet was in ruins. For the first time in months, humanity had won out. As the survivors regrouped, Varrick stood on the Cryon flagship's command deck, his voice calm but grim. "This is only the beginning. The Varkan will send more. They will not stop. If we fail together, the galaxy will burn." Reed looked at him, then out at the battlefield. "Then we don't fail." In the black silence of space, the unlikely alliance was born. The great betrayal. Weeks passed, and the human-Cryon alliance grew stronger. Together, they won battle after battle against the Varkan Empire. The Valiant now carried both human soldiers and Cryon mecha in the hangars, Humans worked side by side with alien engineers, learning to maintain the living machines. The air was filled with the hum of alien energy cores and the clang of human tools. Captain Reed had started to trust Varix. The Cryon leader was calm, strategic, and always kept his word. Yet, somewhere deep inside, Reed still carried a human soldier's suspicion. One night, during a patrol in the Damaris sector, the fleet received an urgent signal. Varkan supply convoy detected, reported Lieutenant Kane. Heavy escort, but vulnerable. Varix's hologram appeared in the Valiant's war room. We will strike together. The convoy must not reach their homeworld. The joint fleet moved in quickly. Cryon Mecha launched ahead, darting between asteroids like silver shadows, while human ships covered them with cannon fire. Plasma beams lit up the darkness. Explosions burst in the black void like fireworks. At first, everything went perfectly. Several Varkan ships were destroyed, and the convoy scattered. But then, our Mecha, they've stopped moving. A Cryon pilot screamed. Through comes. Reed looked at the tactical display. Dozens of Cryon Mecha floated, frozen in space. Their glowing eyes dimmed. Some even turned firing on human ships. What the hell is happening? Kane shouted. It was chaos. 2 human frigates exploded under Mecha fire. Friendly ships were suddenly enemies. Varix's voice came through, tight with anger. The Varkan have hacked the neural core of our Mecha. They are controlling them. Reed's heart pounded. Shut them down. We cannot, Varix replied. Once linked, a Mecha's mind becomes part of its pilot. If we force them offline, the pilots will die. The horrible truth settled in human lives, and Cryon lives were locked inside those hijacked machines. Reed's linked Mecha trembled as a strange force tried to take over his mind. He gritted his teeth, fighting it. Images flashed, metal claws, alien eyes, screams of battle. The Varkan AI was digging into his thoughts, trying to control him. Not today, Reed growled, forcing the link into manual override. His Mecha staggered but stayed loyal. He turned and saw something that froze his blood. 3 hacked Mecha were surrounding the Valiant, charging their weapons. The flagship had no time to escape. Reed launched forward, smashing into one Mecha with enough force to send it spinning into an asteroid. Another fired at him, but he caught the blast with his Mecha's energy shield, deflecting it into the third. But all around, human ships were falling. Varix managed to wrestle control back from one hacked Mecha, saving its pilot, but his voice was grim. We must retreat. The Varkan planned this. They wanted to turn us against each other. Reed's jaw tightened. They almost succeeded. The battered fleet limped away into the shadows of a dead star system. Fires burned inside the Valiant. Many Cryon ships didn't make it. In the quiet after the battle, Reed stood on the darkened bridge, staring at the stars. We can't win like this, he said. If they can hack your Mecha anytime, the war is already lost. Varix's hologram appeared, his glowing eyes dim. We have a plan, but it is dangerous. Reed crossed his arms. Dangerous how? We must enter the Varkan's core world, destroy the AI that controls the hacks. But no one has ever returned from there alive. Reed looked at the damage reports. Too many dead, too many injured. He turned back to Varix. Then we'll be the first. Before the transmission ended, Varix added something that kept Reed awake that night. If we fail, Captain, it will not just be humanity or Cryon that falls. The entire galaxy will belong to the Varkan. Reed didn't sleep. He sat in his cabin, looking at a holomage of Earth. Somewhere, deep inside, he felt it fear, yes, but also something else. Determination. The galaxy's last hope rested on an alliance built in desperation, and if they were going to survive, they would have to take the fight straight into the heart of enemy territory. Humanity's last stand. The Valiant drifted silently above the black clouds of Varkan Prime, the enemy's homeworld. Below, lightning storms lit up the planet's surface, revealing massive alien structures that pulsed like living creatures. In the center was their target, the core spire, a tower so tall it reached into the upper atmosphere. Inside it, the Varkan AI, the mind that controlled every hacked Cryon. Mecha-waited. Captain Reed stood on the bridge, helmet in hand, looking at the holographic battle plan. We go in fast, hit the core, and get out before they surround us. This is our only shot. Varix, standing beside him, gave a slow nod. Our new hybrid Mecha will lead the way. Human courage. Cryon strength. In the hangar, the new Mecha stood ready, towering war machines built with both human engineering and Cryon living technology. Each pilot felt the pulse of the machines through the neural link. The mecha's armor gleamed, powered by alien energy but shaped for human combat. The fleet launched. Dozens of hybrid mecha dropped through the thick clouds, burning through the atmosphere. The air screamed against their armor as lightning cracked around them. Below, Varkan defenses roared to life turrets, anti-air plasma cannons, and swarms of enemy drones. Reed's mecha landed hard, smashing into a defense platform. He drew the hybrid's energy blade, slicing through a wave of drones. All around, explosions shook the battlefield. Cryon warriors fought with blinding speed, while human pilots used raw aggression to push forward. Varex's voice came over. Comes, the core spire is ahead. All units, break through. The battle for the Spireus. They neared the core. The ground opened, massive enemy mecha emerged, black armor shining with red energy veins. These were the overlords, the AI's elite guardians, twice the size of any human cryon hybrid. Their weapons could melt armor in seconds. One charged at Red. He dodged, bringing his blade up into its chest, but the overlord caught the strike with a clawed hand and hurled him through a building. Reed's mecha hit the ground hard, systems sparking. Not done yet, he growled, forcing the machine back on its feet. Kane, piloting another hybrid, fired a barrage of missiles into the overlord's back, blowing it apart. Move, Captain, we don't have time. Inside the core, Varex's unit breached the spire's outer wall, cutting a path for the rest. Inside, the core was like stepping into another world, glowing red veins running up the walls, the air thick with energy. In the center, suspended above the ground, floated the AI's central brain, a massive sphere of shifting light and shadow. The moment they entered, a voice filled their minds, not through comms, but directly into their thoughts. You are nothing. All minds will join mine. Resistance is chaos. The brain pulsed, and several hybrid mecha froze, pilots screaming as the AI tried to take control. Reed's vision blurred, but he fought the pull, focusing every thought on the mission. Varex shouted, "Destroy the core. Now." The final strike. The AI unleashed every defense it had. Energy whips, drones, psychic blasts that tore at their minds. Kane's mecha took a hit to the chest and collapsed. Systems dead. Two cryon warriors were torn apart by energy lashes. Reed knew there was only one way. He disconnected the safety limiters, letting the hybrid mecha merge completely with his mind. Pain seared through him, but the machine moved like it was his own body. He charged straight at the core. The AI's voice screamed in his head, trying to flood his mind with fear, but Reed roared back, swinging the energy blade in a full arc. The blade cut deep into the glowing sphere. The core exploded in a blinding flash. A shockwave tore through the spire, shutting down every enemy mecha. Instantly, the overlords outside collapsed, their red lights fading to black. Aftermath of Alliance, surviving forces pulled back to orbit. The spire burned, lightning storms tearing through its remains. On the bridge, Varex stood beside Reed, both silent for a long moment. Finally, Varex spoke. "It is done. The galaxy is free for now." Reed looked out at the planet below. "We fought together, and we won together. That's how it should be." The human and cryon fleets drifted side by side above the ruined world. For the first time in centuries, the galaxy was not under the shadow of the Varkan Empire, but in the silence of space. Both Red and Varex knew one thing: peace never lasted forever. And when the next threat came, humanity and Cryon would stand together again.